extended is sexy though.
Well, it didn't.
I like a good extension.
They didn't produce some sexy stuff, apparently.
No, they didn't. They did produce Jason Momoa.
That's right.
Dun, 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 dun. See, you thought I was going with the...
I did.
What we talking about today?
Finally, Superman has come out. I believe that Superman has made quite the triumphant return. Mr. Gunn has come in and made a Superman that is very much, well, I'm not going to say very much, but does harken back to the original version that everybody holds close to their heart. I liked it a lot. I think that he did a really good job of giving you a Superman that's both of this time and not of this time. I think one of the first things you get from Superman when he's actually giving dialogue, I think one of the first words he says is golly. I enjoyed that a lot. And there's a lot of gee whiz and a lot of stumping and a lot of words that harkens back to where that character comes from. Nicholas Hoult was good. I thought Krypto was fun. I think I could have did it with a little less of him. I think he goes over well with the audience. That will lead to be a good decision, especially since they're going to use him more going down the road. Mm-hmm. But I thought everybody was well casted. Lois, Jimmy, Perry. I like the introduction of the Justice game because it leads to something else that I didn't think they were going to do this early. The action was good. I had a good time. I don't want to tread too deeply. I'll let you go ahead and give your 2 bits an hour.
Well, hopefully we won't be treading for an hour. I have a full page of notes.
Yeah, you were a note taker this time. I can't wait to hear what you came up with.
So I'm not sure, but here we go. That's Peter Pan reference if you weren't ready for that.
I was thinking of Joker.
Yeah,
okay.
It's Peter Pan, baby.
Yeah.
So I want to go back, way back in the time to when all we had was the trailer, because my impression was, what have you done, Mr. Gunn? It looked like we were about to take a trip on mushrooms because there were so many elements jam-packed in that trailer.
Well, that's how the movie is too, but go ahead.
Actually, to me, it wasn't. I never felt like I was being dragged through too many characters, too many colors, too many events. I felt like the pacing was just right the entire time. One of those really super great examples to me is the scene where that gigantic intergalactic psychedelic amoeba looking thing was in the
that was outside the window.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I think he called it like a intergalactic imp.
That scene in particular is a slow down scene for us to see how mature Superman is. He's not thinking about anything except for rescuing his dog. He's not getting overwhelmed. This is all some new shit, but it's okay. He's a person of singular purpose. They just were taking my hand through this wild, crazy world, and I never felt like it was too much. I was very happy that what I thought was going to be a sensory overload wasn't. It was a fun, psychedelic, colorful, like Underoos kind of good time.
I would agree with you. It wasn't too much for me either.
It was a delight. We were suckled on Christopher Reeve. Mm-hmm. So much so I like to imagine that he was my cousin when I was little because of our name.
You did tell me that.
I'm like, that's my cousin. Yeah. He was a jewel. I just watched a scene of him going back and forth between Clark and Superman seamlessly. And my initial thoughts when I saw that trailer was, That's not my Superman. Especially coming from Corn Sweat and Twisters. And I said, why did they pick him? He's such a geek. Like,
actually, I think that's a good quality to pick for Superman, actually.
Yes, as Clark, he's a geek. But as Superman,
you got to start somewhere.
He needs to be Henry motherfucking Cavill.
Well, I don't think Christopher Reeves is Henry Cavill.
Christopher Reeves is very conventionally attractive.
Okay.
He's an attractive man.
Well, and a lot of people present Christopher Reeves as this unreachable bar. You know what I'm saying? Especially for 1977. As far as where Superman was in the comic books at that time, that was Superman. And for them to get it that pitch perfect all the way, over I guess around 50 years ago now at this point, was real impressive. So I get it. I get why people love Christopher Reeves doing it. But the thing about doing a Superman movie now is that you get to see Superman in his element, not just the character. I think they got the character right in those movies because it was 1977.
How OP he is
right.
What you mean?
Well, that, and also there's your effects and action side of it too. That you get so much better now. The thing that Zack Snyder got right with his Superman was Zack Snyder figured out how to make Kryptonians look fighting each other. But James Gunn was able to do both of them at the same time. I think Henry Cavill was a great casting decision. I don't think he was a great Superman because of what they gave him to do. I think Corn Sweat was given the proper script and the proper action. So I think the package you got with this movie gives you everything you need to get from Superman. Like, this is the Superman movie.
I would agree that we didn't get to see Cavill as what we know Superman to be with
we
Truth.
Did a little bit.
Truth, just when they brought him back for the reshoots when he didn't have no shirt on.
That's right.
That's when we saw him. That's the only time, and it was joyful.
People give Josh Whedon a lot of guff for that movie. He knew who Superman was, though. I mean, even the opening of the movie, when you get that moment with the kids, and he's like, "Hey, can you be on our podcast for a minute?" And he's explaining the S on his chest and why he does, why he does what he does. That's the closest they got to Superman in those movies.
It's nice, but the joy still isn't there.
I'm just saying they got closer. Whedon was working to get there. You know what I'm saying? He tried to get them closer to that.
So I fell for Corn Sweat in the scene. What's your boy from A Few Good Men?
Aaron Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin would be proud. That dialogue was so on the nose, Lois. Like, all of that was her. That particular version of Superman in any kind of movie where he's on his heels in dialogue, we've never really seen that before.
I think back then you really didn't see a Superman challenged like that.
Right.
I don't think you would have been presented with that. Matter of fact, they had a similar scene in the first movie with that, and it was nothing like that.
Lois is a hard ass through and through. But at the end of the day, she is having a conversation with a god on earth, a man who can fly, leap tall buildings.
And somebody she's feeling.
With a single bound. Well, she hadn't really spent that much time with him before the interview. What color panties do I have on? But
I love that you remember that.
I love Superman.
Just keep surprising me.
She loved him like we all love him. She can see him swooping through the city, saving people and all that kind of stuff. But she wasn't able to touch him until that night.
Well, I think that, yes, you're right. She did love him like everybody else does, but she has him at her place.
Yes, she does.
You know what I'm saying? And like, she's infatuated with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And she doesn't know it, but he's also infatuated with her. He's throwing some juice at her too.
He's throwing that juice,
right.
that super juice.
Right. Or was it Riz? He's
so hip.
But
she's not treating him like she would treat anybody else. And they made sure that they let us know she was a badass from the jump. Lois Lane ain't nothing to fuck with.
But in this movie,
yes,
They're already in a relationship.
Yes.
They're
Early.
still right. They're feeling each other out still.
Yes.
And you're like, you sure you want me to do this? Because I'm not going to hold back, because she's already gotten all that. You know what I'm saying?
She already got the juice
right,
at this point.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like the infatuation part isn't there anymore.
No, I disagree.
Well, I mean, like it's not.
She's not blinded by it.
It's not the same thing as okay. I'm not saying she doesn't enjoy him or she didn't want that, but it's different when you've had it and you're wanting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but another important element when we're making the comparison between that interview and this interview, for people that are students of these movies, he hadn't done anything yet. He's saved a few kittens in a tree, and
you mean in this movie?
No, in the very first one, in the old from the 70s. Mm. So there's nothing for her to have to really interrogate him on at that point. It's all softball questions because he hadn't done anything. He hadn't fucked the shit up. He hadn't killed 1,000 people in a city. Everything is all light and new. So I'm just saying, in her defense, and old Lois' defense, and Margot Kidder's defense.
Well, there's nothing to defend.
I need to.
There's nothing to defend.
She was standing on business then too.
I mean, I think there's a lot more questions
What would you ask if you were her?
Look, granted, there hasn't been some war confrontation that he leaped into for her to badger him about. Obviously. But I think the whole questions of unilateral decisions could have been asked then. But again, I'm not trying to poke holes in the first Superman movie.
Wait a minute. Where? He hadn't spun around the world yet and reversed time yet.
But he could.
Yes, he could.
I'm just saying there's a ton of questions there that she could have asked that she couldn't, that she didn't ask.
Name one.
I did.
Justice for Lois. Justice for old Lois.
Crossing country lines could have came up at that point. He could have flown over to some other country and dealt into something he didn't have no business dealing into.
Oh, he definitely did that.
That's what I'm saying.
He did that shit.
The exact same thing could have been asked. Granted, this particular Lois had something specific to probe him about.
Yes, she did. I just don't want y'all to think that old Lois had dick blindness. She did not.
She had a little bit, and that's okay. She had a tiny bit, and that's all right. Because like you said, probably every woman around him probably had it at that point. So it's okay. It's all right to be blinded.
Okay, so let's go back to this scene, the Sorkin-esque scene.
I thought it was very humanizing. I thought, like I said before, I thought that this is something that Superman chose to do. And he thought he was right in doing it. I think it really challenged his values. And I like that James Gunn allowed him to, get upset and like people were going to die. Why isn't that just simple enough for you? And Lois kept pushing him like there's more than just, people dying. I know that's tough for you, but there's more to it than that. You can't just go across country lines and do what you want to do.
You made the point about it being a modern conversation. You made the point about it being a different kind of element added that exists now that didn't really exist in the 70s because wasn't nobody trying to put him on a leash.
I'm just saying back then they wouldn't have put him in that position.
Right. Now they're arresting him, bringing him before the Senate.
Right. Yeah.
Looking at that as a person who is very tapped into geopolitics currently.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. It made me happy to see that depiction on screen in a world where there are people that are about to be slaughtered with cinder blocks and pitchforks.
And I'm sure that was probably intentional.
100%. Like it felt like me sitting there, it felt like at least somebody's trying to give these people some representation, even if it is in a world that doesn't exist. So I was very happy with that for that sense of reflection of what's happening in the times right now.
And there was a lot of talk. He, I don't know if you got any of this in the lead up. I think the past maybe week or 2 weeks before the movie came out, he called Superman an immigrant. And of course that riled up the
cracker ass cracker.
But it was a thing that he kind of had to answer questions about. Just kind of like, look, this dude's not of this world. I mean,
what's the definition of an immigrant?
I was just about to say, tell me what an immigrant is. I mean, it sounds like what Superman is.
And suck my dick. That's what he should have said.
He just made it clear, like, look, this is a guy that's just trying to do good.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
And the story that we saw, even though I'm saying it's reflective of the times, it's a story as old as time. That's the story of this world, is people with bigger rocks and bigger cedar blocks smashing those with smaller cedar blocks. And but in the history of this universe, we haven't had a Superman to say this isn't right, and to point out that I have the power to take this nigga, put him on a cactus, and make him piss himself. I'm going to do it if that means that thousands of people live.
Again, that's something that you wouldn't have gotten from Superman. Just kind of finding joy in, I don't think torture, like Lois said, torture in the scene, but I think that back then you don't get a Superman that finds some enjoyment in putting this dude that's doing this horrible shit and raking him up against a cactus.
I disagree. I just in the times where we saw like Christopher Reeve Superman, he put Lex Luthor through some stuff. Like, he embarrassed him. At one point his toupee fell off. That's the same. Your toupee falling off is the same as you pissing yourself.
It's not painful.
I mean, it's just, what's one cactus amongst?
But, and also, this isn't a new thing for Superman. Like, looking back on it, like they made comics with him with beating the Nazis and stuff back in the day, coming from Jewish writers as well. So, I mean, this isn't new for this character, so to speak.
Yeah, to be
But
political.
as far as movies, as far as depicting him, you know what I'm saying, in a film, this is the first time that, like you said, they've put him in geopolitical situations where he has to answer for his actions.
But going back to that conversation with him and Lois, I liked that when they came in, when she came into her apartment, it's all sexy and long tongue kisses and breakfast at night and just hot. It's Rick James and Tina Marie.
Was it?
It's
Was
hot.
it that for you?
It's spicy.
Okay. It was a little spicy.
Can a nigga fix me breakfast at night? That's hot. So I like the whole choreography of that whole scene of, you see these two people, they are into each other. And then she's like, are you sure this is what you want? Like you said, are you sure this is what you want? Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. She didn't ask him really any pushy questions. You've been interviewing yourself. He was like, I gave you more time than I gave myself. Oh, you timed your interviews with yourself? Like, that's some stuff I would say. Like, he's never had a challenge. There's never been something he couldn't lift. They started the whole movie with the fact that he's never lost a fight until now. He's never lost. He's like LeVar Ball. Never lost. You know.
Your sports knowledge always surprises me.
But now he's had all of that, and then he's being challenged in a situation where it's as simple as life and death. But there are all these other elements that shouldn't be even factors when it comes to people being mindlessly slaughtered for what? And we didn't learn the reason until the end. And it was very like Lex Luthor. It is some Lex Luthor stuff. I'm going to build a whole extra layer to California just so I can get some land. How well, like, these writers were very well studied on these characters.
This writer.
Sorry. Let me give the man his credit.
Give Mr. Gunn his credit.
His roses.
That's right.
He knows a lot of us, myself included, have read limited Superman comics. I haven't read a Superman comic since the 90s, really. Early 2000s last time. So any evolutions or de-evolutions of this character, I'm not familiar with, but I know the movies like the back of my hand. I know if it's one thing Lex Luthor wants, it's some land and power and respect. Money, power, respect, and nice hair plugs. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the scene. I just really thought it was beautiful, and when I was watching it, I felt like I was eating a really good juicy steak. I felt like there was love, care, grease. I thought it was all of those things, and there was nothing that told me that nobody didn't take their time with that scene. So I loved it.
What else you got in your notes?
So going back to Corn Sweat. Corn Sweat is sexy.
Good for him.
Like, is this just the swirl on his forehead?
He, like Christopher Reeves, is a Juilliard caliber actor.
Oh, really?
Juilliard trained actor. He got gears.
He's nice. He said, I'm going to get my dog. I said, get that dog, baby. Get that dog. That was hot. So I know you're not going to talk about the Corn Sweat, but you said he's a good actor.
No, he's Superman. I think to go back to James Gunn, I like that he was able to incorporate his Boy Scoutness into the movie, as well as giving him qualities that would resonate, obviously, with you, that was able to resonate with a 2025 audience. You know, he's the Boy Scout, but he's also sexy. He's strong. He stands up for himself. And I thought he did a great job bringing that to the screen. I saw him in an interview, or I saw him and Gunn in an interview talking about the suit, which, by the way, this wasn't a big thing for me, but I will go ahead and say that still don't like the suit.
Really?
That's one thing that in the trailer that I didn't like. The only thing I really didn't like about the first trailer I saw. Still don't like the suit. Didn't like the suit then, still don't like the suit.
It doesn't look super enough for you?
It looks cosplay to me.
I mean, but what is cosplay?
Well, there's good cosplay. And this could be qualified as good cosplay because it's not like he looks bad, but it is a suit that...
It's Kryptonian fabric. I mean...
It's not supposed to be Kryptonian fabric.
Really?
Okay, Superman Origins. He swaddled in the cape that he wears. Yes. But the rest his mother makes for him. You know, and nerds, if I'm wrong, come at me. But I just don't think it flatters him. And it's just a puffy... I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. I just don't think it's a flattering superhero suit. It's just kind of that simple. It's not terrible. It's not bad. I'm not a big fan that he changed. Well, he didn't change the logo. I'm not a fan of that version of the logo. Oh. That logo is in books and stuff like that. It's not like he just made it up. He just put it out as behind or whatever. But I just like the traditional S.
What's the difference?
The one that Corn Sweat has, it has sharper corners. The one that Kal-El and pretty much every other Superman has looks like the bulbous. It looks more like an S.
Oh yeah, it's like a slash.
It's not bad. I'm not saying that this is terrible. And like another thing is, he said he put on 40 pounds of muscle for this role.
Yeah.
Does it look like it?
He looks big to me.
He looks big, but does he look like Superman?
Yes, he looks like Christopher Reeve. No, we don't get to complain. We don't get to compare.
We're not complaining. We're just,
Yes.
but we get to compare.
We get to compare to Christopher Reeve.
No, we don't. Christopher Reeve was 50 years ago.
So was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, muscles existed back then.
And they chose not to give him any, or he chose not to get any.
He doesn't need muscles. And like, it's just like the comic women don't need nipples to be able to fly, but they still draw. They always draw those nipples on the
They
comic.
don't.
When was the last time you looked at the comic book?
When the last time you look at the comic books?
It was still the 90s, early 2000s.
And they had nipples.
Yes, because I wrote a letter to Marvel and DC that my little brother didn't need to be exposed to nipples in the comics. It's not going to make them punch harder. But I'm saying they always have like an extraordinary, weirdly superhuman amount of muscle, but you don't need all that muscle when you already have superhuman strength. What weights is he lifting to do that? Look at Mark Grayson. Mark Grayson is built like corn sweat.
Have you seen Mark Grayson in the comic books?
No.
Okay, maybe you should.
But I've seen him in the cartoon.
Okay, he's not without muscle in the cartoon.
He's not without muscle, but he doesn't have Henry Cavill titties. Nobody has Henry Cavill titties.
I don't need him to look like Henry Cavill.
Oh my gosh!
I wasn't trying to show you his titties.
Me.
I wasn't trying to show you his titties.
Those are some of the best titties
I was trying to show
history.
you. I was trying to show you him. I was trying to show him in the suit.
Yes, and show me Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve has been the standard. He looks like a convincing
He has
Superman.
been the standard of what Superman should. He's been the standard of what Superman should be and act like. He's not. He hadn't been the standard of what he looks like. You know who the standard is of what Superman should look like?
Who?
Henry Cavill.
Okay, I hear you.
These guys don't put on muscle, 20, 30 pounds of muscle just because they want to or just because the studio tells them to. It sells the character.
Yeah, I need a nice thick neck on my Superman.
Okay, and you can't tell he has
a
that.
thick neck.
He does, but you can't tell it in that suit.
Yeah.
He looked more muscular in his regular clothes than he does in that suit.
Yes, he does. That is the truth.
Okay, that's the only point I'm trying to make.
And I agree with you that he does not look good in that suit.
But I will say this.
There's nothing that makes me sweat when he's in that suit.
I will say this though. They struck a good balance with him because Henry Cavill, as much as I liked him as a choice for Superman and how he was kind of misguided, he was way too big for that character. Do you remember him in regular clothes as Clark Kent? Do you remember him as Clark Kent?
Did he look like Batman did on Batman the animated series, like a block with a suit hanging from it?
He just didn't look like a reporter. Let me try to find some.
He looked like a goon.
He looked like Superman in regular clothes. He was just too big for the character. I think Cornsway hit a nice balance with it. Even though he was nice, big, and muscular, he could put on a suit and glasses and look like Clark Kent.
Yes.
Henry Cavill didn't do that. I mean, because even in other roles after Man of Steel, they tried to put him in suits and stuff, and he was just too big for it. Like the suits didn't fit him properly because he was just too fucking muscular.
So.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go to your notes.
Well, the only thing I was going to say was I liked it when you called him a Boy Scout because that's clearly what they were going for. Like when he was complaining about the little monster getting killed and he was like, we could have euthanized it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're so used to death and destruction in all of these movies that when we see him whining about the explosions going on in its stomach, we're like what's his problem? Like I'm thinking to myself, like, what's he mad about? And he's mad because this innocent creature is dying.
It's a cool nuance. because it's an element of that character that if you're trying to do Superman, it needs to be there. Because, Superman, that's not like he doesn't kill, but he is someone that gives a shit.
Right. He was saving a dog.
A squirrel.
A squirrel, too.
Squirrel.
Yes. Beautiful writing.
A squirrel. Absolutely.
Beautiful writing.
Yeah.
That is how extraordinary he is. And there is no character arc for that. Like, he's still that guy at the end of the movie. And that's what's up. One thing I like, too, as a student of the films is the opening where all the robots are working on him. And they're like, play his safe space playlist.
They did. Yeah. They did.
And it's the same. It's his parents. And that was really nice. Because I'm like, as the last of my kind, that would be something that I would listen to a lot if I had it.
I like the sentiment of it's been my guiding light too.
Yeah.
I like he was just like, I've built my whole frame of thinking off this.
That's my North Star.
And I like that piece of his psyche. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, and I loved the touch of it when he had to reckon with the fact that his parents set him up to be a ruler and destroyer of worlds instead of a lover of humanity.
How do you feel about that? Just not so much from a story beat, but that was obviously a change of his origin story. Something that people had a problem with.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah.
They can't even tell us what his daddy's name is.
People know.
They don't know.
Plenty of people know.
They're going to Google
Plenty of people know who his
They're going to say
daddy's
Marlon
name is.
Brando, duh.
I didn't bump up against it in the theater when I watched it. I like when the status quo of characters have changed for the sake of story, just to kind of make somebody more interesting. I mean, who really cares about Jor-El in the big scheme of things?
Jor-El. There you go, Jor-El. You know who know. You know.
Do you know his mother's name?
His mother? Malaya? I don't know.
It's Laura.
Oh.
But I thought it was a nice touch, to kind of create that conflict, because you build it up as his bedrock of what he believes in, and then you take it away from him.
Yes.
And not only do you take it away from him, but you do it in a public way where everybody, is all of a sudden against him.
You ain't shit.
Right. I liked a lot of the choices he made as far as to make this character, to give him conflict. I like the choices he made.
That was probably one of my only critiques, was that hurdle was so easily overcome. He's sitting on the porch with Paul, and he's like, I'm not who I thought I was. And Paul's like, you are who you say you are. If I wasn't, then why would I say you are? You know that?
I don't think so.
That's, as I am, whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? You don't know that?
Yeah.
I'm so hip.
Yeah. I got
So Paul's like,
You're
are.
very hip. You're so hip.
Thank you. Paul's like, it doesn't matter what Jor-El says that you are. You're my boy. I know you. And that's it. On to the next scene. And I just felt like it was very castrated. I felt like I saw them rubbing on him in that bed much longer than I needed to, compared to them sitting on the porch having a moment.
You mean when Lois brought him to the house?
Yeah. And they're all like rubbing on him. My baby, my baby.
I mean, that was a very quick scene, though.
Both scenes were quick, but they spent more time rubbing on his head and loving on him while he was passed out than they did on the porch while he's having an existential crisis about who he is. His dad responds with, you're who you say you are. You're my boy. You're Clark. And
all
then next scene, we're on. And that's it.
Okay. So Since you took it there.
I took it there.
All right. Since you took it there, I'll present you with another one of the questions.
Go for it.
All right. So one of the problems with the movie that a lot of people have is that we don't get to spend a lot of time with these characters. There's, of course, the main character, Superman, the crew of the Daily Planet. You have the Justice Gang. You have Lex Luthor and his whole crew going on. You have Metamorpho. You have the tracks that he's trying to lay for the DCU. You have LexCorp and everything that LexCorp does. You have Maxwell Lord and all the stuff that he could possibly bring into it. He has a cameo with Peacemaker. There's a lot going on in this movie, and a lot of people believe that you don't get to spend enough time with these characters to really get your arms around them, so to speak. The aspect of this that I guess is most prominent is the bigger DCU introduction as a whole, because the DCU is trying to be the MCU, of course. One of James Gunn's jobs is not only to do the Superman movie, but to usher in the whole connected universe thing. You have a 2-hour movie where you're trying to not only do a good Superman movie, but you're also trying to give the connective tissue of being connected with Creature Commandos, and you also have Supergirl coming up. And again, I agree with you. I thought that the balance of getting all this stuff together was cool. The people he chose to give emphasis, to give, okay, I can't say that word now. Emphasis. I can't say it. I'm sorry. I got you. I'm fucked up.
You say the first couple of words and I'm going to fill it in for you. Go ahead. The people he chose to give, and then I'll say it.
The people the people that he chose to give
emphasis
to.
High five.
I thought he made good choices with. But you don't get an origin. Clark Kent is only in one scene in the entire movie.
2.
What's the second scene?
The first is at the Daily Planet. The second is at the apartment. That's Clark.
Is that not Kal-El?
She's interviewing Superman, but then there are parts where he's like, I'm talking to you as my boyfriend. It's both things.
Okay, I'm not going to get into that.
Okay, cool.
But okay, so he's in 2 scenes. A lot of people didn't like that.
They wanted more Clark.
They wanted more Clark.
Kal-El, really.
That's right. They wanted more Clark.
They can go make their own movie.
You know, I mean, people wanted more time with the Justice Gang. They wanted more time with Lex Luthor.
If they give them their money, they will give them the universe.
And there's something you got to toss away, right? Like, you can't care about everything. The choices he made, I liked. So this isn't me poking holes in it. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to present you with the idea of a lot of people not liking that this pretty swift little movie introduces you to a lot of aspects that they don't spend a lot of time on.
I'm happy that you asked me this question because this is also on my notes.
Okay, well, good.
Look at us. So let's talk about all these side hoes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Maxwell Lord, which was really cute to see his brother.
Always is.
Yeah. Peacemaker. Supergirl. Those are cameos. These are, oh, hey, I remember Maxwell Lord from all the time I watched Supergirl. You know, like that kind of stuff. Those are cameos. And you can have a movie jam-packed with cameos. It's not a big deal.
Do you mean Wonder Woman?
Oh, is that her villain?
Yeah.
Who was the villain on Supergirl, the TV show on CW?
I didn't watch that. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break that. I didn't watch the TV show.
I did.
You did.
It was right. My shiznit.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I brought that up.
It doesn't mean I can't be wrong, though.
Because, you know, I wasn't really into the CW stuff.
I was. Arrowverse is my thing. Yeah. The only thing I remember about the Supergirl movie was that little spinning orb and the drugs. They did a lot of drugs. They did a lot of coke.
Right.
So, I think it's Maxwell Lord, but like those are cameos. if people want to get their panties in a twist about cameos, then they are at the wrong movie. Like, that's what we've come to expect from the very moment Stan Lee just started popping up in these movies. You know what I mean? So with those characters, their complaint is, I don't know the motivations of Mr. Terrific. Like,
Well, actually,
Miss.
is that how I said it?
No, that's how I always say it on the pod.
Mr. Terrific was actually a bright spot for that movie with a lot of people, seemingly. Like, a lot of people think he stole the movie.
But they're not complaining about it. So yeah, when they're talking about what are their motivations, what is Cat Grant's motivation? Like, give me a break. Like, why is she the reporter that she is? Why is Jimmy Olsen not holding a camera anytime? Man, come on. I thought that they gave all of those characters plenty of shine time. I am a real big fan from the time I was watching like the Santa Clarita Diet of
Nathan Fillion.
Well, yeah. His name is Skylar Gisondo. He is really good. When I saw that he was going to be Jimmy Olsen, I was like, that's the Jimmy? Okay, let's go. I didn't get crunk until I saw that casting. Like, I know you're a big fan of The Marvelous Miss Maisel and all that, and I know she's so beautiful and fine.
But she's also just pitch perfect for Lois Lane. She's pitch perfect for that.
She's a hard ass.
Yeah, and she was a hard ass in that show.
Yeah.
So that was
well done.
Pitch perfect.
Brava. Mm-hmm. But him having the whole backstory of being some mysterious lover boy and them not telling us why, when historically when we think about Jimmy Olsen don't get no pussy. Well, no, that was dope.
That's actually, there's versions of Jimmy that does get a little trim.
A little trim.
So that didn't come out of nowhere. Jimmy's as old as Superman is almost. I mean, there's been a lot of versions of Jimmy Olsen, and there's been stories where Jimmy Olsen has been a ladies' man.
Okay, get into it, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And you know what that is? Somebody that did their homework. And what is that man's name?
James Gunn.
There you go.
He's a comic book guy. So yeah.
The guy that is from SNL, Steve, that played the mustache guy.
Yeah.
His jokes landed. He was like, I don't have a seat. He got his little time to shine.
And also, let me make clear that I'm not saying that
you agree with them.
Right.
Correct.
Exactly. I'm just giving you room to give your 2 bits.
I am talking to all 50 of our strong and appreciated listeners. Tell them how much you love them.
I love them very much.
No, tell it in the mic. Get in there good.
I love them very much.
Yes. The mustachioed villain. I'm wondering if I've ever seen him before. The one that was his henchman.
He is apparently another James Gunn favorite.
Really?
Like Michael Rooker and
what else has he been in?
Bradley Cooper and
Peacemaker.
I think he's been quietly in a lot of stuff. He hasn't had big parts in things.
He was good.
He's a character guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he bounces around. Like, he's one of James Gunn boys. He makes sure he puts him somewhere in the movie. So
he had some good lines too.
No, yeah. He was like the main person on his crew in the ship. So, in the little space that turned into a ship.
I like that he kept trying to like save the world, but at the end of the day, he was still very much a mustache twirling bad guy.
Well, I think that was more self-preservation than.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, you're right. Because he was like, hey,
like, bro, this gap is getting near us now. So we need to get the hell out of here. That was him trying to live.
I like that Metropolis was a character. There's no place like that anywhere on this earth. Like, as far as just the bystanders on the road and even the architecture and the way that these people interacted with all of these supernatural situations.
I like that there was a notion that this superhero stuff wasn't new. There's this big kaiju in the middle of the city, and there's people that's just still reading their paper.
Mm-hmm. It jitters.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody's going to figure this out. Somebody's going to take care of this. So I'm going to go about my day the way I'm going to typically go about my day.
When they got that jitters shot out, I percolated.
Yeah, you did. Very much.
The part at the end where they didn't let our homeboy that got shot in the head just be forgotten. They didn't leave anything untied. They tied everything up with a nice little bow. Malik, may he rest in peace.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Metropolis is his true hero. And the final person, or the final character that I would talk about from the side characters is Supergirl. Like, I thought it was a really rad little cameo. That
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially from what I know of Supergirl, which granted isn't a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only read the synopsis of the Woman of Tomorrow story that they're going to adapt to that. But if they're going with the party girl version of that, that made me more interested in what that movie is going to be. I like that Jason Momoa is playing Lobo. Thank you so much. I think any movie benefits from Jason Momoa. So
don't we
I said
all?
Samoa, didn't I? Jason
Yes,
Momoa.
But that's not inaccurate.
No, I think any movie he's in where he gets to be Jason Momoa benefits. So I'm glad that he brought him back into the fold. So the whole drunken party girl thing, that could be a pretty cool concept for that movie, because her whole thing of Krypton is very, very complicated in the books. And it's this whole different relationship than Superman has with it, because she was older when she got sent to Earth. So I think that could possibly be pretty cool, because her drunkenness could be coming from a completely different place than what it looked like in that very quick cameo. So that could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope. I think that they're making those critiques about not enough time with the side characters because they're intriguing side characters. I wanted to know more about Hawk Girl. Why is her mouth always open? How did she feel when she dropped that man on his ass to his death? It's a nice palette, and they want to play with these toys some more.
The guy's just trying to build a world.
Yeah.
And he didn't
let the man cook.
He didn't want to spend 3 hours doing it.
Like, think about that tingle scene. I was going to ask you about tingle scenes, but the first scene that tingled me was when the little boy was raising the flag. Because we've seen that so many times, and it can be really corny and flaky. And
I'll tell you what I feel about that scene.
It tingled me.
It didn't tingle me because it didn't have the payoff that I wanted.
Because Superman never came?
That's right.
I actually like that part.
I didn't.
It's the power of teamwork.
Well, that's fine. And if I didn't see that scene in every single piece of promotion for that movie, I could ride with that.
You felt like that little boy.
Well,
that boy was you.
It didn't matter who showed up. Just as long as somebody took care of that army, it was cool.
The chant don't hit the same as Superman, and Justice Gang. It's not bad though.
That's one of those catharsis moments where Superman has to be there. Superman has to show up. Superman has to put his hand on that kid's shoulder. I'm here. You cried for me. You chanted for me. I'm here to save you.
Don't act like y'all didn't see me rise from the ashes like Jesus, like every Superman movie.
Look, if I'm making those choices, Superman shows up for that kid.
You're not wrong.
Superman shows up for that kid. And that kid is everywhere for the promotion of that movie. He's everywhere. Holding on to that little stick, praying that Superman shows up.
Please, Superman Jesus.
Again, it didn't ruin anything for me. But Superman shows up for that kid if I'm making that movie.
You're not wrong. Well, so going back to the envy speech.
I think Nicholas Hoult is a great actor. I've enjoyed him in everything I've seen him in, but he's not my Lex.
He's not my Lex either.
He's not my Lex. And again, that's not to knock his performance in this movie. He's cool. But I'm going to say this, and I know that he is what I'm going to say, but he's not what I want. I want a grown man as Lex Luthor. He is very boyish to me. The Lex Luthors before him, as far as in the films, Gene Hackman, Kevin Spacey, weren't contemporaries of Superman. They had presence. When he was giving some of these lines, it sounded like a teenager. I remember somebody was talking about Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor. I'm like, damn, I wish they would get him for Lex Luthor.
I think we make such a great team. Because Bryan Cranston would make an excellent Lex Luthor.
He would make a great Lex Luthor.
But here's the reason why. Bryan Cranston makes an excellent anything.
He's great.
There is nothing that he cannot touch.
He's very good.
And turn to gold.
He's very good.
We're just struggling with Lex Luthor, especially after Jesse Eisenberg. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's been a lot of tough Lexes. John Cryer played Lex Luthor, and people like to think he was good in that. I think that was just silly.
Tell me about the speech.
I think that
is why.
I think it was well written. I think that he was able to encapsulate everything you needed to know about Lex Luthor in that speech, because it's another discussion about origins and some of these characters that's been around for years and years and years that we've seen a lot of stuff from. Like, we know what the pearls falling on the ground mean. We know what happens to Uncle Ben. We know what happens to Krypton. The whole thing that James Gunn was trying to deal with this was that, look, I'm not doing any of that. I got a few years with this thing. I'm not giving it 15, 20 years.
Well, going back to what he did when he's like, I ain't doing all that. The beginning opening scene, 3,000 years ago, 3 hours.
I wonder what was up with that.
3 minutes.
3 centuries, 3 years that Superman had been in working, 3 weeks, 3 days. It was just a lot of threes. So I wonder what was the whole thing about that.
I thought it was a neat way to deliver exposition. It was neat. And
how do you feel about not seeing any of that? That's another thing that people complain about.
Completely fine.
Well, I mean, because, like, again, we're talking about show and not tell. These are story beats, you know what I'm saying? Like, we see the end result of this fight that he lost. Because, again, James Gunn was like, I'm not going to spoon feed you guys a lot of this stuff that you guys have seen 10, 20, 30 years ago.
His eyes shoot lasers?
Right. You're telling a story that has a lot of elements, and as far as leaving certain details off to the wayside and just depending on the audience to just be smart enough to put 2 and 2 together. Me personally, I don't have any problem with that. But you're talking to a person that was at one time a very avid comic book reader. So I don't need to be spoon-fed. But the person who watches movies when they get a chance to, or can't spell comic book, where do they go?
Well, just to go with that comic book example, on Tuesdays when comics come out, they're not going back to the origin. They're not going back to the Schuster days every Tuesday. So no matter what you do in any version where we share these stories, they're not always starting with the beginning. Let's start at the very beginning. A very fine place to start. On a Tuesday. Sorry, I got a lot of music in my head today. Got the comic book blowing up on a Tuesday. I haven't drunk enough. But yeah, when you go in there, you're not looking for the very first Superman comic ever. And if you were, that's worth a lot of money. So no matter what we do, we're not rehashing these origin stories. The problem is when we first started doing comic book stories, a lot of us did origin stories. Like Blade had an origin story. Spawn had an origin story. So it's because we were used to it. Now we should be in a generation where we're okay with having a Peter Parker just show up with Uncle Ben already dead.
I mean, some of this stuff is just there for you to consume. I think it's cool for just to get the boat on the water and just get going.
Yeah, and tell a story.
Yeah, but nonetheless.
So we were talking about the villain.
I think we talked enough about
Well,
this.
I have a couple more thoughts on
I'm
this.
sorry.
Though.
Go ahead.
I liked that he cried
Oh, when his plan fell apart?
like a pussy.
Gotcha.
And I like that Superman couldn't beat him like in a fight when Superman was fighting himself.
Oh, I want to talk about that too.
Because he studied everything that Superman did. And that's one thing about what I've understood about Superman is like he's not Batman.
Oh no, he's not Batman.
Exactly. So for him to be like A1, 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 A1 and just punching him in the face, like he was never going to be able to overcome him, but he couldn't overcome puppy power. Puppy power took out Lex because Krypto took out all the cameras.
Oh, okay.
That's also a Scrappy Doo reference,
I
in case you didn't pick
no,
up what I was dropping off.
I very much don't scrap it.
So, yeah. I didn't like the bald joke. That was cold.
Take his ball ass to
Yeah,
Bell Reeve.
man.
Yeah.
I know that James Gunn got a head full of hair, but it's a lot of bald men that are.
I'm a part of the ball coalition, so
Yeah, exactly,
I
man.
feel
I
you.
didn't appreciate that.
I appreciate you going to bat for us.
Yeah, I love y'all. All right, so what else you got?
Hey man, I didn't take notes.
Oh, so that was your one question for me?
Well, I've asked you too.
Oh, really? What
was another thing that people
let's
kinda...
talk about the fact that they used the original theme.
That's it. Okay.
Dun, dun.
Okay, I remember it. I got questions for you.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So, of course, John Williams' theme is beyond iconic. But I gotta say, I appreciate it when Zack Snyder took care of it. He hired Hans Zimmer to give him something different. At some point, we gotta get away from John Williams.
Don't be a hater.
I'm not a hater. John Williams is my frat brother.
That's right.
He's my frat brother. I love John Williams. But I do appreciate when somebody finds their own take.
But you sound like a hater, though.
I'm
like,
not a hater.
even
No.
though you're saying
It's not about hating. Okay, so I guess you liked what you heard, correct?
well, if it ain't broke,
I'm just saying I appreciate when somebody makes their own footprint.
it's not because it's popular that they did it. It's because it's iconic that they did it. And when he puts that S on his chest, that's also iconic.
You want to know my real thoughts on that?
Let's hear them.
I think
This is bustle-free, nigga.
I think the people that they hired just couldn't come up with anything better.
That's fine.
Oh, that is fine. But what I'm saying is it's cool what they did. It's fine because Superman Returns did the exact same shit. They just took John Williams' music and just put a little spice on top.
Electronic.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They just found some little stuff to change here and there. But the theme was still the theme. I like that when he came, when Zach came in, he wanted something different. And when he went out and tried to figure out something different, he got the best. He got Hans Zimmer to come and figure something out. I'm not saying what Hans Zimmer did was better, but it was good and it stands alone as its own thing.
Hum it.
But
Hum it.
But
how does it go?
But
ask me how it goes.
But
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It's not iconic.
Okay. So your position is whenever Superman comes up, it should just be that music.
My position is movies are designed to make me feel something. And I feel something when I hear that French horn. And I'm not mad if I see him wearing the same suit. I'm not mad if I see him with the same swirl on his head.
I'm not mad either.
I'm not mad with them same baby blue eyes. That is the part of the character. So if we're doing all these other things with this level of fidelity to the character, why not have that level of fidelity to the sound of him too?
Okay, so when you saw Man of Steel, did you miss the John Williams thing?
I didn't miss it.
Okay.
We have had conversations about nostalgia.
I'm not saying they made a bad decision.
I just called you a hater because I thought it was funny.
I like when somebody tries something different.
I do too.
That's all. Like Hans Zimmer brought in all these drummers. Like it was very drum driven score that he did for Man of Steel and the stuff he did after that. He spent a lot of time trying to figure out what Superman sounded like. And I like what he came up with. But I agree with you that
Williams' score is superior.
Yes, yeah. It is. It'll stand the test of time. Like Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
Jaws.
The way that John Williams writes is the way that movies just sound forever. But John Williams can't live forever.
What? So overall on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give it?
I go 8.
8. That's solid. It's passing.
Passing. 8 is very good for me. I think it's a movie I enjoyed quite a bit. There's things I could bring up, but they're just the nature of some of these characters. Like Lois Lane, I have a fundamental issue with Lois Lane. And that's simply because if the story gets too big, I don't know why she's there.
When have you seen that happen?
Every time. Like
when they killed her?
Well, no.
In that car?
Well, no. Okay. So we're in the place of cinematic universes. So are you cold?
No.
Are you shaking for a reason?
I just like it sometimes.
If a comic book story becomes big as far as the action, and we have to place this normal person in the midst of it, I'm just trying to figure out why that person is there. I'm going to go back to Zach for a moment. He had to do a version of the fight between Superman and Batman. Lois Lane didn't have any place there. In this Superman movie, Lois and the crew of the Daily Planet hops into Mr. Terrific's spaceship to publish a story. Why are we even following them?
I think I am very inebriated. And if I weren't, and we did this the night we saw it, I could give you an answer. But I will say this. It made sense at the time I watched it.
Okay, well, it can make sense to you. That's fine.
Oh, because they had to evacuate. They were evacuating the building because it was about to be engulfed by a giant chasm.
I just don't know why we're following them.
We just need to make sure that the love of his life is okay. That's his soulmate. We're not following them much. We don't even know where they landed.
The point of that scene.
We saw them fall off the building.
I can understand that Lois Lane is a quintessential part of Superman and you have to find a place for her. I just hate that you have to find a place for her.
I wasn't mad at it.
I'm not mad at it. It's just the point that, again, these are nitpicks. I'm not particularly mad at it per se. I'm not saying that I hated it or anything like that. I'm just saying it's just something that you got to deal with.
I'm also whispering because I'm drunk.
Are you done?
I have one more statement to make before I pass out.
Make your statement before you pass out.
What made this movie a 9 out of 10 for me was the line where they say, without Superman to save them, the people of Baravia, they don't have any hope. Did you see it?
I saw it.
It said hope.
It did say
You know what hope is? That's the S on that chest, nigga. That's the S on that chest. That's for the real ones like me and you that was born of this. You know what I'm saying, nigga?
Yeah.
We know all about Krypton, nigga. We speak that. We didn't even have to have a translation when Jor-El was talking and Laura. It got me in the feels, nigga.
That's what's up.
I said, y'all better go. James Gunn, you better go. He didn't have nobody to help him write this. Let me look this up.
No, he didn't.
He wrote this all by his lonesome.
He did.
He did that. He ate that up. At that point, I said, this is a love letter, just because I'm drunk. Just is a love letter to people who love Superman. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
House of L.
Thank you. Thank you all for listening. I'll try to get less drunk less time. Less time?